Hey guys, how's it going? I apologize in advance for the terrible lighting. I wanted to get into what we're doing for this jewelry box. These are the templates that I cut out by hand. They're not terrible. They're not very square. They're not very symmetrical. I've got big divots that I took out portions like you can see right here. Scrapping these handmade ones. I'm going to be using these that I cut out on the laser. I drew some lines just to mark the waist so I can hog out some material and give my router bits a little bit of an easier time removing the rest of the material once I get to that stage. This project is the first time I've used Forstner bits, and I love them. Being able to drill overlapping holes made a huge difference in removing this material. I just have an inexpensive set of Irwin Marples bits, but they worked great. Now I'm getting ready to route out the insides of the trays using my templates. I'll use some double-sided tape just to stick the templates down to my workpiece. After that, I change out the router bit to a bowl bit. And always make sure you wear protective equipment. Goggles, face mask, and make sure you tuck away those dangly bits. I took several shallow passes to clear out the rest of the material. Also clean up a little bit as I go. Now I'm removing the inner template in order to route the recessed lip so my trays can stack on each other. I have to use a bushing for this step, and I'm embarrassed at how long it took me to figure out this math. Then I swap out my base for a wider base I made out of a sheet of acrylic. This one works okay, but I plan to make another one with a few differences and upgrades. Swapping router bits again, putting on the bushing, and now the lip is routed. I came back the next day to finish up the routing. Once again, make sure you protect your eyes, ears, and lungs. Routing out all these small cavities took quite a bit of time, and I ran into some issues with my bit and bearing. I'll make a video of that soon. But I did manage to get the rest of the insides routed out, and as you can see, messy. So mistakes. I've made a handful on this box so far, and I wanted to share those with you guys. I cut out these templates to nest inside of each other so that I can remove pieces and route out this lip, and then I can remove this piece and route out the body shape. The problem with this piece is really pretty flexible and it's very thin. There's just not a lot of surface area for this tape to stick and hold this, so it's shifted a little bit back and forth like this. And it's flexed a little bit here and there. Got a funny divot in here. Pushed it a little bit too hard right in here, and I've got a divot out here. So that's one of the mistakes. To solve this problem, I'm just going to sand these sides all nice and smooth. The second mistake I made was pure impatience. As you can see, I removed the outer ring of this template so that I can route out the body shape, but I got a little impatient and I decided I'm gonna take a larger bite with my router, and this guy caught right here and just blew this whole chunk out. Got a big old hunk missing out of my box right now. So fixes for this one. I went and got some Titebond dark wood glue so that the color will match a little bit better. This is a pretty clean break. I'm just gonna glue this bad boy back on. Thankfully, it's the bottom of this box. I'll be removing the vast majority of this material. I'm gonna have a little rabbet along the bottom so that this tray will fit inside of the lip of this tray, and most of that will go away anyways. I just use my finger to spread some glue on both surfaces. Make sure it's in the right place. And throw on some F-clamps. After it dries, I remove the clamps. I was originally planning to route the rest of the outside, but I didn't want to blow that piece back off again, so I decided to use hand tools. I really enjoy planing by hand, especially when it's a pretty small amount like this box. I trim the last little bit with a Japanese pull saw and later use a file to shape the curve. Alright, so I'm actually enjoying doing a little bit more of the handwork today, getting away from the router. It's not nearly as messy, and it's way more quiet, and I don't have to cover myself in goggles and a face mask and earplugs and everything else. I'm going to work on making this into a lid with hand tools. Just tracing the lid template onto my lid. I get it set up in my vise, ready to plane, and then hat cam time. I spent some time getting close to my lines and then check with my tray for proper fit. Then I just used some sandpaper to finish rounding over the corners. So, not perfect, but we knew it wasn't going to be. I gave myself a point to drill the hole for the handle, and I just used a brad point bit for this. And then on to sanding. I used a drill bit and this small drill sanding bit thing to get inside all the small holes. This worked okay, but it's going to take some more practice to get the hang of it. Most of my inside sanding was done by hand, and this is just one of the many sessions. Then I bust out the random orbit sander to sand all the outsides. I finally have a shop vac to help with dust collection, and it makes a huge difference.
Wait, it lives up by itself?
I have to apologize. I finished the box off camera. I finished it with this high build guitar finishing oil from Crimson Guitars. I've been watching Crimson Guitars for a long time. I've used this stuff not only on a couple guitar kits that I finished in the past, but on a handful of smaller items like boxes and bookmarks and little things like that. I love this stuff. It's awesome. Really easy to use. You wipe it on liberally, let it all soak in, give it 10 or so minutes, and then wipe it all off and rub it down. Looks really nice. So this box, I like it a lot. Put a little handle on the top. I just got this from Hobby Lobby. And they stack on top of each other. You can swap out which one stacks where. Pretty neat. I like them. So this box is going to my mother-in-law. I was trying to get it done in time for Christmas, which obviously didn't happen. Then I was trying to get it done in time for Mother's Day, which also obviously didn't happen. So it's done now, a couple weeks late. Hopefully she likes it. But anyway, that's my little, I guess, bento box style jewelry box. They're just trays that stack on top of each other with a nice little lid on top. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome. Go make some stuff.